It's a very encouraging time, and it's a very enlightening. I'd like to say enlightening time. This is the feedback that I've gotten from those who like to listen. I like to give you something to think about, something to ponder on, something to make you reconsider some of the absolutes that you have come to in your life. And today we're talking, it's Make It Happen Monday. And and today we're just talking about confidence. And we've been talking about having a confidence in yourself, and past having a confidence in yourself, grounding your confidence in something that's greater than you, because ultimately it's inevitable. We will let ourselves down, and we have to have a space that we can put confidence in something or someone that is greater than us. And we talked about extemporaneous living. We talked about not, there comes a time in life where you're going to have to do things that you haven't rehearsed. You're going to have to be spontaneous. You're going to have to put something on that maybe you didn't plan the way you wanted to plan, or do things the way you wanted to do. You're just going to have to go through that. And this segment, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit more about that. Just kind of staying in that vein, just having confidence to live. I just want to stay in that space, because I feel like there are people listening that are really being challenged with doing things differently. I feel like there are a lot of people listening right now that really honestly, that you have to do something different. Continue to do life the way you've been doing life, but you just don't know exactly what that's going to look like, and you don't know how that's going to work out. I just want to let you know that you cannot control the splatter or the shatter in life. Many of us try to do it a lot. We do. We really do. But I just want to remind you that you cannot necessarily control the shatter in life. And what do I mean by that? I mean that there is going to come a time in life that you're going to have to do things, and you're just going to have to mess up. You're just going to have to mess up. Some would say make a fool out of yourself. However you want to call it, you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to put yourself out there. You're going to have to be okay with failure, because failure is not failure unless you quit. The only time you fail is when you say, I'm not doing it again. All failure is learning. It's a learning experience. Some of those experiences cost us, some of them don't. Financially, I mean, but they all cost us something. The question is, are you going to learn from it? That's what confidence in living is all about. You have to move forward in your life, and you cannot sit there and it's like I like to say, a lot of times in life we do double dutch. It's like not actually jumping double dutch, but if you've ever watched people do double dutch, have you watched the person getting ready to jump? You know how they kind of rock back and forth to get into the rhythm of the rope, because they have to make sure they get in at the right time so they don't get tangled up in the rope, and they can keep the double dutch going, the double dutching with jump ropes, right? And one of the things we have to understand is that that's how life is. And there are going to be times when you jump in that rope that you're going to keep going. And I've jumped in, and I've jumped like 2 or 3 times. I've never been that good at double dutch. But I think this is a good example for us to understand that, just like in life, it can get tricky at times. But the more you practice and the more you put time in, the more you get better at it. The problem with many of us right now is we don't put enough time into our emotional and spiritual health and growth and learning. We pay a lot of attention. We pay a lot of attention to our physical bodies. We make sure that the hair is right. We put all kinds of topical things on our skin. We use all kind of creams and moisturizers, conditioners, and shampoos in our hair. We get our nails groomed and our toes groomed, get our hair cut and styled. We spend a lot of money on augmentation in all kind of different areas in life, breast, butt, penile, whatever. We do a lot of things. People in general, we spend a lot of time on beauty. A lot of care goes into makeup and just things of that nature. We do a lot. We eat. We eat a lot. We make sure that we eat anytime our physical body gets hungry, or we have a craving or a desire for something. We do that. But when it comes to our emotions needing to be fed, when it comes to our spirit needing to be groomed and fed and nurtured and cared for or made up, our emotions being groomed or fed or nurtured or made up. We don't do that. We don't take time for that. We think that nobody has time for that, or that's for punks, or that's for sissies, or that's for people who soft people. That's not for people who want to get things done. And let me tell you something. That's why so many people are depressed. That's why so many people can't make it through life without taking all kind of medicines and doing all kind of drugs, or just I know so many people that are just into all kinds of um, adverse ways of living. And I say adverse because it's adverse to their essence. It's adverse to the core of who God called them to be. And I'm just saying, if you're going to live confidently, and living confidently is planning and preparing and also being living, impromptu, just doing life improv, extemporaneously. But one of the things you're going to have to understand is that you're going to have confidence in living. You're going to have to feed your spirit. You're going to have to feed your soul. You're going to have to tap into what your emotions are telling you. Your emotions have a reason. They have a purpose. They're like street signs. They're letting you know, they're guiding you. Hey, this is where we are right now. They're like the lights on the dashboard in the car. Hey, you need to low fuel. You might need to add oil to the car. Hey, the coolant is low. You might need to add some coolant, or this needs a check engine. You need to take this to a mechanic. This is what our emotions tell us. Now, when we starve our emotions and we starve our spirit, we wonder why. I don't care how pretty your body looks, you don't feel good. And when you do get things that make you feel good, it doesn't last. It doesn't last because you're not confidently living. You're living very imbalanced. You're only focused on superficial things. Let me tell you something. The only reason you can see a tree is because that tree has roots that is holding it up. And if you think what you see on the surface is more important than what's under the surface, then let the roots start to die. And the tree is going to come down, and it's going to come down, and it's probably going to be very inconvenient for a lot of people. That's what I want you to think about right now with confident living. I want you to think about building up your roots. That's what confident living is all about. Building up the root of who you are, building up the core of who you are, so that how you look, that superficialness, it doesn't have the impact. It doesn't carry as much weight. I know a lot of beautiful people who just don't feel beautiful because of how the height that can maybe something that they feel is not acceptable. So they don't think that they're beautiful, but they are absolutely beautiful. They have beautiful souls, beautiful spirits, as well as beautiful faces and beautiful bodies. But if we don't see that, if we don't focus on living confidently, we can't see that. And we can't help others see that. I love encouraging people. I feel like that's a gift that I have. I don't do it just to do it. I don't do it to like gas people's heads up and make them feel a certain way. I encourage people because I genuinely know that people need to be encouraged. I know I need to be encouraged. And that's what many of us do. If you're in a relationship with somebody, or it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, it could be a friend, pay attention to how they love on you. Pay attention to the things that they do when they're being nice. Pay attention to the things that they say, especially things that you don't ask for. Usually they're telling you a sign of how you love on them and how you care for them. And if we're going to live confidently, we have to get to a space where we're willing to see people past what we physically see. We have to be willing to see people and see them and love on them, see them past their imperfections. We're going to have to be willing to see them past the stereotypes. We're going to have to see them because why? We want people to do that for us. That's what confident living is all about. Many of us feel like failures because maybe we have not lived our life along the lines of what society says that we should do. Maybe you didn't follow the accepted norms in our society and our culture, or maybe wherever you're from. And because of that, you considered an outcast, and maybe people look down on you and try to discourage you. Remember, failure only happens when you give up. I've had things that I've done. I have events that I've scheduled that I remember one time I did an event, and it was so funny. I did an event, and I felt like that's what I was supposed to be doing, and only two people showed up, my mother and my aunt, and one of them showed up because I came with them. And the other person came just because they were coming to get something from me. And and they stayed because nobody else was in the room. And I told them, I was like, hey, I'm gonna just talk to the room because I showed up to do this and this is what I'm gonna do. And initial thought was that's failure. But nobody showed up to your event. Obviously, they don't care. Nobody wants to hear what you're talking about. Those are what that negative self-talk started telling me. But then there was something that rose up on the inside of me and said, at least you can check this off and say that you did it. At least you can say that you showed up for yourself when nobody else did. Because the truth of the matter is there have been so many times that I let myself down. There have been so many times that I didn't show up for myself, that I've made myself believe that other people were more important and more powerful and more whatever than I was. And therefore I let myself down. And on this particular time, I had my aunt and I had my mama, and neither one of them were there intentionally to stay, but they stayed to support. But I stood up and I said, y'all, you watch this. Nobody's in here today but us three. And it's going to come a time when people are going to be selling out and I'm going to have to add on new shows just to accommodate people. And you know what? That's what confident living is all about. But I can tell you, if I had been that same shallow Adelaide a few years earlier, I would have quit. I would have given up on myself because I didn't get the outcome I was looking for. And what we have to understand is we have to get past our expectations. And we have to get greater than our expectations and get to the space where we're like, look, I'm believing for something bigger than I can even expect. And I'm going to show up regardless of anybody else shows up. That's confident living. That is confident living. And I want that for you. And I encourage you, rise up right now. Live confidently. Rise up right now and do what God called you to do. Just rise up right now and love yourself enough to not quit. You think about it. This has been Heart Talk with your heart coach, Adelai Brown, on your community station, kinetichifi.com. Let's rise up with Andre Day. We'll be back with more after this. Kai High Fi. All right, guys. Thank y'all. Hey, Stevie Bird, my radio brother. How you doing? Hey, Shanice. How you doing? Hey, Deja. Hey, Nigel. Yes, Shanice. Confident living. Hashtag confident living. I think that is so good. I think that today is Make It Happen Monday. And just honestly, y'all, I am really all over the place. And I've been all over the place like this for a while. And I'm okay with it now. I'm okay with it because I know that this is helping me get to where I need to be. See, what God is showing me, and I think that a lot of us have to get this, our dreams are not going to come true and our prayers are not going to be answered along the guidelines that it happened before. A lot of us are looking for how God did it the last time, or we're looking to the left and to the right and say, oh, they were in this situation and it happened like this for them, or they were in this situation and it happened like this for them. So this must be what's going to happen for me. And that's not what's going to happen. And many of us think that confident living is making sure that you have, you're in this house driving this car with this in the bank account with 2.5 kids and whatever the case may be. That is not just confident living. I believe that confident living is when you're living on purpose and you're not letting anyone or anything get you off of that. When you're living confidently, it's not going to necessarily be the most popular thing. When you're living confidently, it's not going to necessarily be the most awarded or appreciated thing, because it's you stepping out of whatever the confines and the boundaries of society have placed you in. Like I was just talking about earlier, being a teen mom, and how being a teen mom, well, we know the stereotypes for teen mothers. They're terrible. They're bleak. But I can give you 10 teen mothers that did not fall into any of those stereotypes, though they started off as a teen mom. But see, the thing about it is that's confident living. That's taking a situation and saying, I'm going to do the best I can with this situation. I can't change it, but I'm going to do the best with it. I think the thing that we have to get is that certain times we don't have to be in certain situations, and we can live confidently by making a new decision or doing something differently. And on this Make It Happen Monday, that's what I want to encourage you to do. And I'm saying this because I know it's not always easy. I know that it's not going to always be easy for you to step out of that normal routine. It's not going to be easy for you to break away from the norm. That's why We live in herds. It's a reason why we live and grow in herds, and we're surrounded because there's strength in numbers. But sometimes the strength in numbers is a strength that is adverse to you getting to where you need to be. Some of the strength that we're experiencing right now is a stronghold that's holding us from what we need in life versus bringing us closer to what we need. So yes, it's good to have your village. And yes, it's good to have people around you supporting you. Yes, it's good to be in a crowd at times, but just don't get lost in a crowd. Just remember to live confidently is going to mean that you're going to be alone sometimes. You're going to have to stand by yourself sometimes. You're not going to always be accepted, but that's just a part of life. So y'all think about it. I love you. If this video has helped you in any way, please like, comment, and if you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. And I'll be back with my last heart talk at about 1:15. Love y'all and have a great day.